NASCAR racing from Atlanta Super Speedway. The race went very well, but it was a race against the weather.
Wynn's gonna punch his ticket to the championship four.
Got him this time. Oh, he turned it!
No! Make room! Richard Petty and Dale Earnhardt. There's another 7-time champ. By Logano, maybe no. Kenseth takes him out.
Look, using lessons learned from his father to go from 6th to 1st and score the victory in the Pepsi 400.
20 years of trying, 20 years of frustration. 3 flags in the air.
Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. My name is Cameron Simpson. Hopefully you guys are having a good day, because I am so far. There's a lot of rain going on where I am. I'm way up north from where Atlanta was, but it's raining here. A lot of areas dealing with some flooding and stuff, so for those areas, stay safe and all that. And for Atlanta as well, dealing with those severe weather that they had last night. So weather across the country right now, but rain showers dampened the race in Atlanta. I think everybody that does a video like this is going to be saying that. But it didn't damper the racing quality. Let me tell you that. The racing was incredible. The best racing we've seen at Atlanta yet on this track. Let's be honest. I think many people have very much of a roller coaster experience with the Atlanta Super Speedway. It first opened. There was many fans who loved the old Atlanta that were down on it. But there was a lot of people like me that were up on it. I love super speedway racing. I think it is NASCAR's niche. I think it's something that NASCAR does well that other things don't do very well. Other series can't do. Because like we go to road courses. Every series goes to road courses. Every competitive series to NASCAR does road courses. We go to ovals. IndyCar does ovals. But when we go to super speedways, nobody does super speedways. And we do. So that is the one thing NASCAR has on every other series in motorsports. So I think we should be advertising it. We should be making it the best it can be. And today's racing, there was no big one. There was no giant wreck. There was clean racing. A couple times bumpers got feathered. There was 3-wide racing on some of the smallest corners we have. I think Steve Letarte compared it to Bristol. It's as close as Bristol as we are, kinda. So I think it was a race of excitement every single turn, of action in every single turn, but it was also a very good, entertaining race that I personally did enjoy. Now, you guys out there may or may not have liked it. You might have thought, well, then, I thought it was very good for the most part. Now, with that said, this race got rained on at the end, and the rain could have brought up the intensity of this race more than anything else did, because if it wasn't for the rain, I don't know how this race would have played out. Would it have gone single file? But we even started at the end of stage 1. There wasn't much of a threat then. There was a little threat of rain at the end of stage 1, but nothing gigantic, and we even saw then the drivers would race very hard into the corners. They would push the limits of their vehicles. So even then, these drivers were pushing it. So for me, I think it's more of a situation of, okay, this is what we need to do, and this is how we're going to do it. And as the tires went away, the handling started to go away a little bit. The drivers were able to head to the bottom. They were able to make runs on the bottom, and it was handling mattered. And I think many drivers this weekend said they want handling to matter more than it does currently. Handling needs to matter, and I'm not disagreeing with that at all. I think that handling does need to have an influence. I think handling at motor speedways should matter, but the product, when handling matters, isn't always great. You know, we see it sometimes. They train on the top, and for people like us, well, at least for me, I don't like seeing cars training on the top lane. I want action in every single turn, edge of your seat. And this is what Atlanta brought. Hottest ticket on the schedule, according to Dale Earnhardt Jr. And honestly, I tend to agree. This was a very good race with that. Let's talk briefly about the winner, who honestly had a rocket ship of the day for him. I mean, up and then straight down and then right back up for the William Byron 24. Gets a penalty after running towards the front of the field for most of the day, had a pretty fast car. Gets spun out by Corey LaJoie, I believe it was. And then the strategy implications at the end of the race, they went to pit road, while other drivers did not go to pit road. And because those other drivers didn't go to pit road and they went to pit road, a whole thing happened where the cars that went to pit road versus the cars that didn't go to pit road. You kind of get where I'm going with this. The drivers that didn't pit at lap, I think it was 125, they stayed out hoping that the rain would come earlier than it did. The rain didn't come as early, so those cars that went at lap 125 had to pit at the end of stage 2, weren't able to run the couple laps there, but they did end up bouncing back and running very well. But William Byron was one of those guys that was able to stay out. He made some good moves past AJ Allmendinger and got that win. And then, of course, we know the weather and the rain came in. And people are criticizing NASCAR for this decision. Guys, NASCAR made the right call. And how they handled it, I think they did what they had to do. Some were saying they should have opened pit road, they should have put the cars in, they should have continued on, blah, 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 blah. Obviously, if you didn't know, there was a caution that came out. And I actually did a live stream of this portion of the show because I did think that we were going to get back to green. But we didn't. So they start to see drops in turns 3 and 4. So instead of bringing everyone to pit road, NASCAR is cautious about this. And let me flash you back to an incident at New Hampshire Motor Speedway and then at Daytona last season where we, on this show in particular, were extremely critical on NASCAR. We said, NASCAR did this wrong, NASCAR did this wrong. We were the most critical, at least I was, one of the most critical on NASCAR. Because my guy got wrecked in New Hampshire because of their dumb decision. And then maybe your guy got wrecked at Daytona for their dumb decision. So I think that they made the best decision with what they had in front of them. Now, did I want them to go back racing? Of course I did. But if NASCAR went back racing and all of a sudden the entire leaders wrecked in turns 1 and 2, and some guy that was running 10th wins the race because there's a giant wreck in turns 1 and 2 due to weather, you guys would be on your soapboxes complaining about NASCAR. And not everybody, of course. I'm sure some of you agree with what I'm saying. But those of you that think NASCAR made the wrong decision would probably be on your soapboxes complaining about NASCAR's decision. NASCAR made the decision with what the best thing they had. And those of you that are complaining about it, I'm assuming you were also complaining about how they made the bad decision back in Daytona and New Hampshire. It's very hypocritical. It's very hypocritical to say, NASCAR should have just let them go into turn 1 when there's reports of rain. If there's reports of rain, NASCAR needs to make the best decision possible for them. And the best decision possible is to let the cars run it out. They'll let the cars run it out under caution and then bring it down the pit road for a couple seconds to see what happened. The skies opened up. And so NASCAR made the decision to call the race. I have no problem with that. Do I think they could have just put him down pit road a little earlier? Again, I really don't have a problem with this race. I don't have a problem with how NASCAR handled the end of this race. I think it's very hypocritical. Some of the fans I'm seeing on social media, who I'm assuming complained about way back when, at least it would be hypocritical of me to disagree with that decision. So that's why I'm not going to do that. Let's look at the finishing results of today's race. William Byron gets the victory. That's his 4th win of the season for that 24 team. Keeps their position as number 1 in the points. Pretty secure. They have a pretty good lead over Kyle Busch. Then Daniel Suarez in 2nd, who obviously got lucky with that strategy at the end of the race, looking to win Trackhouse 3rd win of the year in a row, too. Couldn't do that. AJ Allmendinger improves his points situation today. He finishes in 3rd place. Michael McDowell was going to have to come to pit road if they went back racing, went back green. He ends up finishing 4th today. KB, Kyle Busch, up and down day. He finishes 5th, was in the back, was in the front, was in the back, was in the front. Super Speedway Racing ends up finishing 5th. Another solid finish for that 8 team that they really didn't deserve. So that's a playoff team right there. Brad Keselowski in 6th, ran up front, but again, had the pit. That car is fast. He's probably going to win this race if pitting didn't come into play. J.J. Yaley in 7th, top 10 finish for that small team. Big W for the 15 car. Yaley, obviously, a Super Speedway race. Again, strategy put him there, but still, a really kudos to him. Justin Haley, 2 weeks in a row with a top 10 finish in that 31 car. Very talented driver. I know we don't have many off-season spots open this year, but that 31 car may get a spot somewhere eventually. Ryan Blaney finishes 9th in today's race. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. finishes 10th in that 47 car today. Eric Jones in 11th. Good finish for him. Austin Cindric was running towards the front for most of the day. Got shuffled back to 12th. Chase Elliott, nowhere really to be seen today. A guy that was hopefully getting a win, finishes 13th. Denny Hamlin in 14th and Chris Buescher in 15th. Notable finishers outside of top 15. Todd Gilliland was running really well today, finished 16th. Logano was running up the front for most of the day, finishes 17th. I know we're just going right down the line, but Eric Almirola started on pole, was leading the majority of the first stage. It's up finishing 18th. That's just the Stewart-Haas year, I would say. Same thing with Chase Briscoe. Started 3rd, finishes 22nd. Larson was running up front, got in an accident, so did Chastain. Ty Gibbs had an amazing day going for him, ends up finishing 34th. I'm not 100% sure on what happened to him, but that's that. I want to welcome back a brand new, well, not a brand new friend, but a friend of our show that is going to be with us for the final 7 races of the season. Welcome back, Road to the Playoffs. And this is the Road to the Playoffs. It's going to be with us for the next 7 races. It's going to basically just be a segment of the show where we look at the point standings and who's doing what. Since it's our first one of the year, I'm just going to go by really quick. We have William Byron, who finished 1st, Kyle Busch in 2nd, Kyle Larson in 3rd, Truex in 4th, and these are just the points. Good point Buescher for Byron, who has 27 playoff points. Kyle Busch was 17. I think Kyle Busch might win another race this year, so these two will probably, right now, I would say are your 2 favorites to win the championship. Blaney continues to improve on his points, so on and so forth. But the real story is at the bubble, where we have Kevin Harvick with a pretty comfortable cushion, 126 points. In a couple weeks, he can probably lock that in for the win. Then we have Chris Buescher with 105 points to the good, Keselowski with 100 points to the good. Those 3 are sitting very cozy and comfortable. Then it's Suarez and McDowell, who are only 3 points to the good, with Bubba Walsh just 3 points out. AJ Allmendinger 13 points out. Gibbs 26 points out. And Cindric 40 points out. Nobody is out of it yet. Now, do I think Cindric and Gibbs can win? It's very questionable to me. Do I think Allmendinger can win? No, but there is a couple road courses coming up. Do I think Bubba can win? Again, another guy that I actually have no idea what Bubba can do at these racetracks. And every week, he very much surprises me. I look at this, and looking at the points, Suarez has decent running cars. McDowell, the fact that he can point his way into the playoffs, it's crazy some of the names we're seeing in here. But I feel like someone behind that cut line, remember we have Chase Elliott behind that line, could win a race. Could easily win a race. So keep your eyes on it. Keep your eyes on this playoff situation. But for now, this is what it looks like, and that's your road to the playoffs. A little brief segment there. Let's put this race on hit the gas or hit the brakes. I talked about it throughout the video. I enjoyed today's racing. The only reason this isn't going to get an A+++ is because of the rain. So I'm going to hit the gas, and I am giving this race an A+. I know some people are going to dock it because of the weather and all that. I'm not docking it because of the weather. Like, we knew the situation, and every lap felt like the last lap. And that is something that not every race can bring you. And I know we wanted to see every lap play out, but the uncertainty, the chaos that it brought. I did a video the other day that road courses need chaos. Maybe every NASCAR race needs chaos. I enjoy it. I enjoyed this weekend very much. It is an easy A+ for me. Tell me what you thought in the comment section down below. That's it for me. Enjoy the rest of your day. Next weekend, I don't know when the video is going to come out. I'm going to be very frank with you guys. I am on the road. I will be on the road all day Sunday. I won't be really watching the race on an actual television screen. I'll be watching on my phone. So that's that. But I will not be in studio for the next week after Sunday. So I'm going to be tracking that. I don't know when I'm going to put the video out. The video could come out Monday. I don't know. But I'm going to be very busy next week. So the video should come out. I just don't know when or how long it's going to be. So stay tuned for that. The video should come out, but I just don't know when. I might have another one this week. Until then, my name's Cameron Simpson, and have an amazing week. Peace out.